And thanks for joining us. This afternoon, the Attorney General Godfrey Adewodami is hitting back at persons who criticize him for discharging some top officials of the government and the ruling New Patriotic Party's associated members related to matters cited in Professor Frimpong Boateng's illegal mining report. Now, the good old professor, who served as the former chairperson of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, noted that some very senior government officials closer to the president were involved in activities of illegal mining. But the Attorney General, in his legal opinion yesterday, says the claims of the professor lacked sufficient evidence, hence he was discharging the accused persons named and cited in that report. Well, private legal practitioner Martin Pebu, who spoke to us on the back of the release of that letter and opinion by the Attorney General, says the opinion of the Attorney General is not complete. Listen.
The distraction to the forest. I can't agree with the Attorney General that there's no evidence. So, the forest was destroyed, Cobro Forest and the other one. So the distraction that CJ Alaska is said to have done, did it happen or not? I don't see the opinion talking about that. What I expect in respect of the distraction to the forest was that they would say they've gone to the field there, they've checked the forest out, and so they find a distraction. And if you find a distraction, the next thing is to find out who was there at certain periods that Frimpong Boateng mentioned. If we find that it was CJ Alaska that went there and didn't have the permits, you take on CJ Alaska, and that's Donald Isua and his people. So I don't find the opinion satisfactory in respect of the destruction of the forest, those ones. That one, we need more work on it. So this is forensic. This is forensic. We can't sit on that evidence. We need AG to send the investigators to the forest. I didn't find any statement that the investigators went there and took pictures and they did any forensic analysis. So short of that, the AG's report, the AG's opinion is not up to scratch when it comes to that specific area of any investigations being done on the forest.
Well, so that was lawyer Martin Pebu speaking to us yesterday when the Attorney General released the report. Godfrey Adewodami, the Attorney General, this afternoon is back, hitting back at the critics while calling on any individual who has evidence to back the claims of Professor Boateng to do so.
And for me to also place on record that, yes, I may have been appointed by a president. The discharge of my duties as Attorney General, and indeed that of the entire office, is not political at all. We have many professionals, well-trained and seasoned state attorneys who work day and night to protect the interests of the state. The advice the CID, which is the subject matter of your interview, clearly shows was signed by a chief state attorney, very well-trained, and who was even a teacher of Sami Jefi, who was just called to about 3-4 years ago, or perhaps 2 years ago. Now, the point I make first and foremost is that the Office of Attorney General regularly reviews dockets by the CID, and that is in pursuance of our constitutional mandate as a principal legal advisor to the government under Article 88 of the Constitution. So this review of a docket by the CID is nothing unusual to start with. And indeed, the review was specific in relation to allegations contained in the Professor Frimpong Boateng report. The professor had made specific allegations against named individuals in his report. The president had directed the CID to investigate the allegations. The CID of Ghana Police Service indeed built a docket after critically going through a process of interviewing and indeed examining all the persons who were named in the report. Each of the individuals named in the report, a statement was taken from them, and against whom allegations have been made by Professor Frimpong Boateng. In the statements given by each of the individuals, they categorically denied any allegation against them. So then what is the burden? The burden then is to investigate the matter further. And who was in a better position to assist the CID with the conduct of investigations than the person who alleges that these individuals were engaged in wrongdoing? And the professor clearly, as recorded in the docket to the CID, refused to cooperate. A number of attempts were made to take statements from him. He even refused to give a written statement. He stated that he was relying on the bare allegations contained in his report. The CID proceeded further to probe all the allegations against each of the individuals. And they could not unearth anything at all. Indeed, I request of you, the media who perhaps are giving vent to all these unfounded allegations made by people, to supply any piece of evidence against any individual named in the report. I think it's also important to state that the work of the Attorney General is not subject to some political commentary on radio anywhere at all. It is actually a very serious matter, and the dockets are built on the strength of evidence that has been properly unearthed through proper investigations. What is the evidence in support of any of the allegations contained in the report? Absolutely none at all.
And let me quote, investigations by the police have not revealed any evidence in support of the allegations. In time past, you would have had the police give us details of their own investigations into the matter, for which reason they think that the allegations made by Professor Frimpong Boateng are baseless. But now we don't have the privilege of knowing that. Would you advise the police to do that?
We live in this era of right to information and all that. I get regular requests for information from Joy FM or any member of Joy FM requesting the CID for information at all. Case here is just simple. A situation where a docket was regularly presented to the Attorney General for review. CID had concluded its investigations in the matter, had made clear findings even before bringing the docket.
And that was the Attorney General Godfrey Ibuadam speaking earlier on Joy FM, and that's his challenge to any individual at all who believes that his legal opinion is not grounded on facts or perhaps good reasoning, to try as much as possible to bring up more evidence that will, of course, back the claims of the good old professor. But beyond this, is the evidence clear enough? I want to hear from Dr. Solomon Kwabena, who is a US-based Ghanaian mining engineering consultant as well, joining us live from the US. Now, Doc, I'm grateful that you're spending some time with us here on The Pulse. Quite a busy day for you, but you've also been so passionate about issues of illegal mining, dating back to the years when the president came to the US. You had wanted to provide evidence to some of the activities of illegal mining happening here in Ghana, given your vast experience in the sector. Now we have the Attorney General stating clearly that all the claims Professor Frimpong Boateng is raising lacks evidence. Your thoughts? Doc, you would have to unmute for us so we can hear the point you're making.
All right, please, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. So, Blessed, like I was trying to say, yeah, hello.
We can hear you. We're with you, Doc. Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect anything different from what is happening, right now. Professor Frimpong Boateng, I know, had a lot of evidence that he produced alongside the report that he sent to the president. And we all know that Prof submitted the report to the president around March 2021. And the president swept it under the carpet. The president referred the matter to the Attorney General just recently that the report became known to the public through a journalist who leaked the report. So I knew that if the president had any intention to act on the report, he would have referred the matter to the Attorney General in 2021, maybe a few months after he had the report. But the fact that he decided not to act on it until it became known to the public justifies that this matter wouldn't go anywhere. Like you rightly said, in September 2019, I went to New Jersey to, ask the president about Al-Shamwan. And after that, the next day, it was Rutgers University. I decided to produce evidence. He said, if you have evidence, gentlemen, bring it to me. I said, okay, thank you. The next day, there was another event at Rutgers University. I decided to send my evidence to the president, before I realized I was blocked from entering the event. Even police people came. I sent you the video this morning. Police people had to come in to calm me down before I left the place. So the president knows all the Galamsey activities that the people at the Jubilee House are superintending, like Professor Frimpong Boateng clearly stated.
If indeed the facts are there, why is it taking so long for Professor Frimpong Boateng to simply come out with the details, provide the evidence, so it's in the public space? Then we all can trace that.
You know, Professor Frimpong Boateng, I believe you are aware that I had serious, issues with Professor Frimpong Boateng some time back, because I saw this, the exact thing that he wrote to the president. I saw it far back 2017, 2018, 2019. And I decided to fight against it. The same Professor Frimpong Boateng who wrote the report in 2021 was fighting against me that I was exposing government officials, including him. So the big question is, what has changed for him to write a report? He should have sent the report to the president when he was in office. He was fired from office before he sent that report. And that is why I have a challenge about the report that he wrote. But he wrote facts. And I know that some of the government officials at the district level, at the regional level, at the national level, at the Jubilee House are behind the Chinese guys. My brother, let's use common sense here. The Chinese guys that are polluting our water bodies and degrading our lands, can they work or can they engage in such illegal mining without the support of any government appointee? No way. Any location in Ghana is superintended by either a metropolitan chief executive, municipal chief executive, or district chief executive. We have police commanders all over. We have immigration officers all over. So how come these Chinese guys are continuously working with impunity without any punishment? You know, I'm the same person that asked Osafo Mafu. That was April 2019 at Washington, D.C. at our embassy. That why did they leave Aisha? And he said, jailing that lady wouldn't solve our problems. It wasn't important. But the big question is it important to jail Ghanaians? My brother, referring to Minerals and Mining Act 2006 Act 703, Section 83, subsection 8, it states, and I quote, that only Ghanaians can be given the license to operate small-scale mining in Ghana. So why are these Chinese guys? So any Chinese guy who is operating small-scale mining in Ghana is automatically an illegal miner. And the same president enacted into law Minerals and Mining Act 2019, Act 995. That was August 20th, 2019, August 20th, 2019. The president enacted into law the offenses, the punishments for offenses for those who engage in illegal mining. And it stated clearly there, I sent you the video, I sent you the document. It said any illegal miner is supposed to be liable for 15 to 25 years imprisonment. So the question is, if the Attorney General has justified that those people in government and at the Jubilee House were engaging in illegal mining, then it means those people were liable for 15 to 25 years imprisonment.
But let's be fair. Let's be fair to the Attorney General, isn't it? The fact that this is someone who has to go to court with facts that are prosecutable. It's not as though maybe it's simply coming from Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, then we solely rely on that document, head to court. It's not enough. We need much more, right? Like the professor himself willing to attest, to come before the Ghana Police Service, give pieces of evidence, leads, for example, to help the service. He's not doing that. What else could the Attorney General do in this case?
My brother, I think I've listened to Professor Frimpong Boateng's interview, his recent interviews, a lot of them.
Right.
And he's been saying he provided evidence. Do you remember there was a time that some guys sent some evidence to the president, and some of the Jubilee House guys removed some of the document and stuff, some time back. So wouldn't it be like he sent the evidence, but some people took the evidence away or something? Look, Professor Frimpong Boateng, after this interview, I'm gonna call him myself. I'll call Prof, because I know I had some confusions with him some time back, but I'll call him as my uncle and ask him to give me the evidence to me. I will fly to Ghana, maybe December or January myself, go to Jubilee House and give it to the president. If he still insists that there was no evidence, I will provide the evidence to the president. And I mean what I'm saying, my brother. We can't sit in a country where we allow foreigners conniving with government officials who are supposed to protect our environment to destroy our environment. Where is the future, my brother?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the future? So I think this is the time that we all need to act. Whether you are a journalist, whether you are an engineer like me, whether you are, a politician or whatever, we all need to fight against this, because it's becoming unbecoming. And there are a lot of things that, I'm on air, I can't disclose. The gold for oil deal, where did they get the gold from? Tell me, if you know, tell me. Where did they get the gold? The same Jubilee House guys who are behind the the illegal miners, are producing the gold for the oil.
Okay, these are claims you're making. These are claims you're making that we're not independent in that position to independently verify. Because so let's. I appreciate your understanding on this one. So let's move on. Let's stick with the matter. We don't have evidence on that.
It's frustrating.
I get the point, and we are equally concerned about this. Extensive work done, poison for gold. We've seen Erastus Asare Donko do a lot more work on this whole fight against illegal mining. Will it ever end?
My brother, I can confidently tell you that if this mess can end in the country, then there should be a paradigm shift in government, such that you see, the same DCEs, MCEs, regional ministers, regional party chairmen, and all those people whom Professor Frimpong Boateng mentioned their names, are the same people trying to force Dr. Bawumia on Ghanaians. I don't know if you have realized that. I'm not trying to do politics here. But if we can change this mess, then we need to change this government. And I will plead to all MPP delegates to vote against Dr. Bawumia on November 4th, so that a new face will come and face President Mahama, whoever wins. I know President Mahama has told me, myself, he has told me personally that he would like to address this problem. Kennedy Japan has also told me personally that he would like to address this problem. But Dr. Bawumia will continue the same mess with the same people who are behind him.
Okay.
And please, I'm not trying to do politics, but that is the fact. They should vote against Dr. Bawumia so that a new face will come and change this mess. And
we'll keep that as your opinion. Yeah, I get that. We'll keep that as your opinion, because that's your political opinion. You are entirely entitled to that. So you can state that clearly as to what you believe the solution is. And you believe that it should be political, voting out the entire government, possibly bringing in a new set of people that will address the issue. That's entirely your opinion. Now, when it comes to the small-scale sector, which appears to be our head-on now, policy reforms and strategic moves to deal with the matter. Where do we start off from in terms of policy if this new set is supposed to push for some changes?
Thank you. There are a lot of policies, and Brethren, I've granted a lot of interviews on Joy News, Newsfile, UTV, TV3, and all those TV and radio stations in Ghana, and I've shared my opinion. You remember when Honorable Peter Mewu became the Lands and Natural Resources Minister? He sent me to Ghana. He sent me and my team to Ghana to conduct field assessment to understand the problem and come up with solution. These same government officials that Professor Frimpong what he mentioned their names, block us from doing the job. So, like I said, there should be a political will, to address this problem. Now, as of today, as I'm talking to you today, the government has not come up with standard operating procedures that the licensed small-scale miners can operate to ensure water protection and land protection. They don't have it. They have drafted a lot of policies here and there, but none of the policies can solve the problem because they don't engage the right technical people who will help them to address the problem. I'm in the United States, I work in a mining company. We mine gold. Why don't we pollute water bodies? Why don't we degrade the lands? It's because we follow the right standard operating procedures. And this government, because they are the same people behind the Chinese guys who are polluting our water bodies, they don't want to do the right thing. Now, we have licensed small-scale miners who are legitimate to mine. We have illegal miners who are galamseyers. They don't have the license. And they have their community mining stuff. That's another issue altogether that I can't talk about it today. It's a long story. All these three categories pollute water bodies and degrade lands. What is the government doing to address the problem? All what they know is sending the military to sack them. My brother, the military approach has not solved the problem for the past 7 years, and it's never going to solve the problem. If the government will engage the right technical people with the requisite knowledge and experience to help in the small-scale mining sector, I think that will be the best way to go. Other than that, Dr. Bawumia will continue with the same thing, and the mess will continue, and people will continue to suffer from deadly diseases like kidney diseases, liver diseases, heart diseases, lung diseases, and all sorts of diseases because of the dangerous chemicals that they are using.
In fact, I was about going there. The issue about the latest we have on the documentary Poison for Gold, where you see, of course, the use of mercury clearly affecting those in the riverine communities. Is there technology now, looking at how advanced the world is? You are in the mining sector yourself. A possibility of, first of all, cleaning up the level of toxics that we have in these water bodies and doing the mining in a manner that will be very friendly to the environment. Is technology that advanced now?
Yes, there's technology. There is a solution to the problem. It's up to the government to have the political will to find a solution. They are not ready to find a solution. Like I said, United States, we mine gold. Do you know that United States is the 4th largest producer of gold in the world? Ghana is about between 10 and 15. United States produces gold more than Ghana. How come we don't pollute water bodies here with mercury and all those stuff, but we pollute water bodies in Ghana? How come? It's because these people are not ready to tap into the knowledge base of the Ghanaians abroad and help address the problem. That is the issue. Apart from that, my brother, apart from political will, we can solve the problem. And like I said, either President Mahama or Honorable Kennedy Japan can solve this issue. That is my stand, and that is my personal opinion.
Okay, I respect that, and it's a pleasure speaking to you this afternoon. Dr. Solomon Owusu, a mining engineer consultant in the United States of America, joining us here on The Pulse.